Welcome back, Patriots. Welcome to the Conservative Viewpoint. It's Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. And if you thought that the first week of the new year was going to be quiet, you haven't been paying attention. I am Charlie, the country conservative. And boy, do we have a show for you tonight. We are living through history, folks. Real, unfiltered history. While the mainstream media is busy trying to find a way to spin the collapse of the left's favorite narratives, we are here to give you the cold, hard truth. And tonight, we are diving deep into the crumbled blue wall of the Midwest and the absolute triumph of American justice on the global stage. First up, let's talk about Minnesota, or as I like to call it, the state of fraud. Just 48 hours ago, Governor the tampon Tim Walz, the man who wanted to be our vice president, the man who put tampons in boys' bathrooms, officially waved the white flag, and he announced that he is not seeking re-election in 2026. Why, should you ask? Well, because the walls are closing in. We're talking about the widening federal probe into the welfare and daycare fraud scandal that has been reportedly costing the taxpayers $9 billion. Not counting the federal money, it could go up to $19 billion, if not more. Yes, $9 billion so far in the state. This is with a B, with a billion, folks. While you're working overtime to pay for your groceries, the Walz administration was allegedly watching billions walk out the front door to these fraudsters. And did you hear him yesterday? Defiant. He says he won't resign. Says over his dead body. Oh, boy. Okay. We're going to have that later on in the show. He's going to spend the final year riding the Republicans. You're going to hear that also. Well, Tim, the people of Minnesota are the ones who have been taking for a ride. And the ride ends January of 2027. Now, if that wasn't enough to get your blood pumping, let's head south. The Maduro saga is continuing. On January 3rd, while most people were taking down their Christmas lights, American heroes executed the Operation Absolute Resolve. President Trump didn't just talk, he acted. U.S. forces went into Caracas, snatched up and arrested Maduro and his wife, Celia, for the right, and pulled them right out of their 45 bunker that flew them straight to New York. I've seen the photos and all the social desk, Maduro in a gray tracksuit, blindfolded on the USS Iwo Jima. That is what accountability looks like. Why isn't it happening to these Democrats? But now he's in a Manhattan federal courthouse where he pled not guilty for terrorism charges and all other kind of charges. The strong man is now caged man. And what did the Democrats say? They are worried about international law and sovereignty. Where was the worry when Maduro was starving his people and flooding our streets with poisons? And they were allowing this to happen. They did nothing. Now, which brings me to my final point for this opening. Delusional Democrats. They are in a total tailspin. From the halls of St. Paul to the halls of D.C., they are terrified. They see the Trump administration freezing funds to states that can't account for their spending. They see the president who actually fulfills his promises to drain the swamp, not just here, but across the hemisphere. They are calling it, lateral force. I call it cleaning up the mess that was left behind by them and the bumbling Biden. They are delusional if they think that American people want to go back to the days of weakness, fraud, and open borders. We have all this and the latest updates and more in store for you guys tonight, so you don't want to go anywhere. Buckle up, stay sharp. Let's get into it. You're listening to the Conservative Viewpoint, and the show begins now. Hi, everyone, and welcome. It is Wednesday. We are over the hump and getting ready to try to close out the week, guys. Welcome to the show. It's glad to see you guys. It's awesome to see you guys. Well, you can't beat everything, that's for sure. So, hey, yes, I got a hell of a show for you guys tonight, like always. And if you didn't catch me, because I wasn't on yesterday because some stuff come up, I did do a show earlier today just to throw out there what last night's show was supposed to be like. You want to go back and check it out if you want. But that's okay because we're going to do some updates on everything that I pretty much talked about this morning. So, hey, let's give a shout out to some of the great people in here in chat right now and some of the people that are tuning in from Wimpkin, which we probably hope you're supposed to be getting back on there here in a couple of days. We'll see what happens. But we got Rumble over here. We got Gregory Alley Corns Jr. or just Gregory Corns Jr. over in Rumble. If you got Rumble, type in his name, check him out. You love his podcast. And we got Texas Tammy there. Welcome, Tammy. Yes, sir, Bob. Guys, we've got a lot going on. We've got a lot of people in here. Let's see what we've got over here. We got Lee. What up, Lee? And Facebook. We got YouTube. We got Twitch. We got X. We got Kick over here kicking it off, guys. Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm glad to see you guys. All right, let's shoot over here to the Getter Gang, man. Yes, sir, Bob. We've got guys up here kicking it off right over here. Let's see. We got Radical Right, Sean Justice. What up, Sean? Texas Red. What's going on? Welcome. Nice to see ya. Conrad, what's happening, man? Going on, guys. It's awesome to see you guys in here. Joe Public, what's going on, Joe? Cecil, 7876. There he is, man. I haven't seen you for a while, Cecil. Welcome, Cecil. All right, guys, let's go on down through here and check it out, see what we got going on. I'm glad to see Shell. Hi, Shell. Yeah, glad to see all you guys. Like I said, we've got a lot going on. We're going to kick things off right now. So we got a lot of videos I want to show you. And I'm hoping to get to them all. I'm going to make sure we get to all these ones. I'm going to try to pull off a Throwback Thursday tomorrow. I am tired as hell. Bad night last night. If you've watched the show before, you know why. I'm not going to talk about it. But it was a bad night. Didn't get any sleep. So I'm tired, and we are going to get going so I can get some sleep and try to get things going back to normal again and get a Throwback Thursday. We deserve the fun. We deserve to have fun after all this mess we've been seeing going on. So I'm going to try to pull off a Throwback Thursday, so you're not going to want to miss a single second of tomorrow night's show. Yes, sir, Bob. Here we go. Let's get on the ball. Well, unfortunate, we've got to talk about a little bad stuff. Right off the bat, ICE agent shoots and kills a woman allegedly attempting to run over law enforcement with a vehicle. And you got crybaby Democrats sitting there trying to make up excuses saying, no, it wasn't. Well, I'm afraid I think it was. So, did I download that yet? Let me load up in here real quick. Oh, I forgot. It'll only take me a second, but I want to give you your opinion in chat and let me know what you think. Did this woman try to run over an ICE agent? Take a look.
No! Shame! Oh my God! What the
There wasn't what the fuck? But she just tried to run that guy over. You can see it there for yourself. It got standing right there. She tried to run him over. She chose to hit that gas pedal. What do you guys think in chat? Let me know what you guys think. That's my opinion. Let me see what you guys have to think. Try to run over me and I'll shoot. Exactly right, Lee. That is, it is use of a deadly weapon when you use your vehicle to try to harm somebody. And that's exactly what she did. Let me get that out of here. All right. And what do we have? Nothing but Tampon Tim himself running his mouth and pouring gasoline on the fire with a lie about the Minneapolis ICE incident. Now we'll shoot down here and I'll tell you what he said. He said, I've seen the video. He tweeted this out earlier, probably around 2 o'clock this afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. Don't believe this propaganda machine. The state will ensure there is a full, fair, and expeditious investigation to ensure accountability and justice. You pretty much, the video proves it themselves. The idiots themselves screaming and hollering, taped it for themselves and shown the woman tried to hit and run over an ICE agent. There is nothing else about this. Simple as that. But you got Tampon Tim running his mouth when he doesn't even have a clue of what was going on before the evidence was put out there. The dumbass needs to get out of office now. They need to force him out one way or the other. Tina! Wow, Tina. Happy New Year, Tina, and it's great to see you. Haven't seen Tina for a while. My Texas Tammy's there. That's great right there. Looked like that they were trying to get her out of the vehicle and she hit the gas. Exactly right, Tammy. You don't do that. That is use of a lethal weapon when you're doing that. That's exactly what happened. All right, let's move on. Rubio, Trump's pushing a plan to buy Greenland. Now, you know what we talked about this before, guys, and there is a national security thing about this. Accountability and justice. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly, Tina. And there's a national security reason why Trump wants this. Plus, there's, what do you want to call it, the minerals and stuff that is important to the United States there also. So there's so much at play here, but I want you to see what the Prime Minister of Denmark had to say with all this that's going on about Greenland. Take a look.
Firstly, I believe that the American president should be taken seriously when he says that he wants Greenland. But I also want to make it clear that if the United States chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops. That is including our NATO and thus the security that has been provided since the end of the Second World War. I believe in democracy and I believe in the international rules. Of course, I also believe that you do not change borders by force either one way or another. It is not only the position of Denmark and the Danish kingdom, fortunately, of Europe too. So I hope that the people will also take note of the once again significant European support that we are receiving.
Now, I do not think Trump was go as far as a military strike against Greenland. They are no threat to anyone. So I think she's just blowing things out of proportion. And he will talk to them. And before China or Russia even gets their hands close to Greenland. So we'll see what happens, right, guys? There's so much going on, it's unreal. He's crying now because he didn't have tampons in elementary schools when he got addicted to. Yeah. Oh, that's funny right there, Sean. That is hilarious right there, man. But you know, you're right. You're probably right. ICE launches the largest immigration operation ever in Minneapolis. Acting director says. Acting U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement Todd Lyons said that Tuesday, the agency is carrying out the largest immigration operation ever in Minneapolis. They have already nabbed a suspect murderer and a accused sexual predator. I thought I saw the number in here that they were like topping the thousands, if I was right, but it might have been in one of the other articles. Like I said, I read a lot of articles in a day, but this is the largest ever. But now the feds launch operation targeting Minnesota refugees, potential deportation amid fraud investigation. Now, here's the number I was talking about. U.S. CIS deploys personnel to re-examine roughly 5,600 refugees from countries listed in Trump's travel ban. 5,600 just in that city. Oh, yeah. Funny how the mayor said that the ICE agent shot an unarmed woman. What does he think a car was? Exactly, Cecil. That is a weapon. Of how she intended to use it, made it a weapon. So I don't want to hear it from these crybaby Democrats, the delusional Democrats, and that goes with this whole thing that we're talking about, God, this whole scenario that I got going on tonight in this show. The frozen wasteland is important for the safety of America from our enemies, period. Exactly right, Joe Public. That is a fact. That is first and foremost the reason why Trump wants to get it. The other stuff is 5,600 rape. Yeah, there you go, Texas Red. Love that. You got that one right. 5,600 rape. UG. Oh, yeah. That's exactly what's happened right there. All right. Going on, James Comer to accuse Tim Walz of being asleep at the wheel at fraud hearing. Now, you know what? I've seen parts of the fraud hearing today. I was too busy doing other stuff to watch it all. But it's the same thing over and over again. It sounds great, looks great here. You know, everything that you see is great, but nothing ever comes out of these things. And I'm going to let you watch one here as soon as I find him, because here is where did he go? And I know I got him because he was there first. There's a woman on this. Here it is. Byron Donald questioning one of the witnesses of the Minnesota fraud case running rampant in Minnesota, in Minnesota. Take a look at this real quick.
The list of programs in the fraud in Minnesota are rampant. You have the Child Care Assistance Program. You have the Feeding Our Future. You have the Housing Stabilization Services. You have the Early Intensive Development and Behavioral Intervention. You have Integrated Community Supports. Ms. Robbins, you're the chair of the investigative committee. The depth of fraud that you have seen, were there controls in place in the state of Minnesota that could have prevented this fraud? And were these controls ignored by the Walz administration and by the Department of Human Services?
Absolutely. So we have many whistleblower reports talking about how DHS undermined ability to strengthen internal controls. So, for example, there was an effort for the Child Care Assistance Program. They have a clear and convincing evidence standard to disqualify someone from being a provider, where all the other programs are a lower standard, preponderance of the evidence. There was an effort to make this a lower standard so it was easier to disqualify people to preponderance. And the Minnesota Minority Child Care Association, which was run by a group of Somali providers, opposed it, and DHS went along with their recommendation. And in a similar vein, we were trying to reduce the number of child care employees with children that could work in these child care centers, because that was one of the vectors of fraud, right. And they opposed that. So you had the Somali community who on purpose was petitioning the state of Minnesota to lower the standards to be able to make sure that fraud could not be caught. Is that correct? Well, they wanted to keep the standard clear and convincing, which makes it harder to disqualify people. So it makes it harder for them to be disqualified from wasting taxpayer funds. Is that absolutely correct?
So you heard that yourself. They made it easier for these terrorist Somali Muslim pieces of garbage to get our money. They made it easier for them. What the hell's up with that? I couldn't even get a business loan without making this big old. You have to write a business plan, a 5-year and I think 10-year plan, just to get a loan. I'm trying to work on something like that, and I want a business that could be almost self-run to leave my son when I die. But it's like almost impossible to try to get a loan because you've got to jump through hoops being an American. But when you're a piece of shit terrorist sympathizer, Muslim idiots like these people, they can take all of our money that they want. It's ridiculous. I'll be telling you what. But thank you to Byron for that. Byron, I love Byron. And yes, Texas Red over here said next Florida governor. I hope so. I like that man. I think he does a wonderful job. And we'll have to push for him when it comes up that way. But the fraud has thrived under these Democrats with no questions asked rule. Just give them the money and go. This is why I keep telling you guys on the past couple of shows, we need to get to D.C. and make them. That is true, Joe Public. I'm too white. I'm too white. I need to get back to Jamaica or somewhere and get me a tan and then go get me a loan. You know, yeah, I gotta try that. You're right, Mr. Joe Public. We're gonna try on that. But yes, no questions asked rule when you're a Democrat. Just set it up. But we need that citizen committee of auditors. 100 people. Give me one of those. I'll take that building that the FBI just shut down. I don't care. Put me in there and let me take care of it. And I want to audit every single penny this government sends out to states and to countries. And we will find and follow the trail. Nothing will get put out there unless you find corrupt people, which is not hard to do. But I get all you guys and come work, and we'll do it ourselves. Oh yeah, we can do that. So all right, let's keep going. Let's get through these so we can show all these videos I got for you guys. We got some good ones. If not, tomorrow night, I want to get Throwback Thursday started up again, guys, because we need to laugh. We haven't laughed for a while, so we need to. All right, what else we got going on here? Oh, this one. Not really too concerned about this one. It keeps shutting off on me anyways. But this was the audio of Ellison meeting with convicted fraudsters resurfaces as lawyer alleges Walz and the AG share the blame in the money going out. Well, they need to share the blame and they need to be put in jail, giving our money away to terrorists so they can send it to fund terrorism to come back at us and kill our people. Oh, yeah, that's pretty much treason right there. At least we got rid of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah, exactly. Now, guess what? You got to get that dumb hoe bag, Jasmine the Rotten Crotch Crockett, the hell out of here. She running her mouth too, and I thought I had something on her later, and I think I do. So wait till you hear that. You got to get her out of there. She lost her seat. Why isn't she gone? Let me know, guys. You Texas people. Feds probe hundreds of millions in suspected Somali cash in luggage leaving Minneapolis airport. They're running for the hills, people. They're taking the money and running. I bet guarantee they sent more money over to these terrorists before they're skipping town. This is why you don't tell people what's going on, but they caught him in the airport with a small number of money to couriers of Somali descent. The routine routes were into Dubai via Amsterdam, usually from Minneapolis, by other times from Seattle to Dallas to Columbus to Atlanta. They've got their route going to traffic our money out of here to give to terrorists. This stuff's got to stop, guys. Now, Levitt calls Minnesota the land of 10,000 Somali schemes in scathing Walz takedown over fraud scandal. This is just getting bigger and bigger by the day, guys. It's unbelievable how big this is going to get. Now I just saw, and I think it's on tomorrow's show, that they've got they just found some fraud in Boston, I believe. And I think I'll have that on tomorrow night's show. But also, get this one. Trump's DHS delivers horrible news to Ragtop herself, Ilhan Omar. She is absolutely can be denaturalized, and they are investigating on a massive scale to get her asses out of here. So if the Patriots get their way, radical raghead herself could be drop kicked back to her crime-infested, impoverished African homeland of Somalia. How many fingers, how many toes can we cross to hope this happens? And I hope somebody reaches over and rips that rag right off her head. Wouldn't that be great? Jasmine Jock Itch Crockett. That's another good one, Sean. Jasmine Jock Itch Crockett. I love that one too. He gave me the Rotten Crotch Crockett, and now we got Jasmine Jock Itch Crockett. We got some good ones. Way to go, Sean. All right. Now the Democrats are all pissy again. This is what I'm talking about. These people are delusional. Trump administration sends Democrats into a hysterics by freezing funding for 5 states over fraud concerns. And let me get down here to tell you the states, because it's you know it when you hear them. They have barred California, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, and New York from accessing nearly $2.5 billion in child care and development funding money, $7.35 billion in temporary assistance for needy family funds, and $869 million in social services block grant funds. They're stealing our money, so why the hell would you give it to them anyways? Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? All she had to do was comply. Exactly, Tammy. But no, she can't do shit. And would you say, like I said, one paid domestic terrorist bites the bullet. Exactly right, Gregory. Darn shame. When the people start respecting law and order again, and especially our law officers, then this shit won't happen. Respect's got to come back. These kids think they can get away with everything, do what they want, and with no cost. Sorry, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right, guys? Crock shit should have been taught to wipe from front to back. Oh, that's great, Joe Public. That is freaking hilarious right there. Love it. All right. Venezuela is to turn over 30 to 50 million barrels to oil to the U.S. Watch our prices go down, guys, really quickly. And actually, Gregory Alan Jr., our extraordinary truck driver extraordinaire, told me that a few days ago before all this went going on. He said, watch the prices start going down. And he has been sending me stuff and prices and stuff where he gets his fuel for his truck at some great prices too. And this comes out, Venezuela is going to turn in 30 to 50 million barrels to oil to the U.S. Part of that money is coming to us. Part of that money is going to Venezuela to support them and get them back on track because of Maduro's corruption and causing starvation in Venezuela, the destruction of all their homes and everything, just left these people penniless to not fend for themselves at all. And they've destructed their houses, look like shambles because of the corruption of 25 years of Maduro. Now it's going to be fixed if they get the rest of the corrupt people out of there. We got to keep moving pretty quick here. Trump had hinted about Venezuela's action to oil executive. I did see where they got that one Russian tanker and they got two more ghost tankers they commandeered. So I think that might be, I don't know if I deleted it off because I did delete some stuff off for tomorrow so we can get into some videos tomorrow night. But they have taken those tankers. Of course, they've confiscated them. Now that oil belongs to us. Now, after Maduro, Venezuelan power vacuum exposes brutal insiders and enforcers. The cartel has always been a loose association, with each of the mafia bosses having their own centers of gravity, these experts say. This is showing all of the cartels that have been financially winning the crimes and stuff and the U.S. Department of Treasury and stuff. And now this has just opened a bag load of cartels and other countries working these drug organizations and bringing the drugs into our country to kill our American people. It's not even about just getting people high. It's not about money. It's about chemical warfare. And this is the way they're doing it. China's a part of it. Russia's part of it. They're all a part of this. And we're seeing it firsthand, guys. We're living the nightmare ourselves. Kurt, how you doing, Kurt? She came all the way from Colorado. Oh, yeah. Isn't that a damn shame, Kurt? All right, let's keep going down through here. What do we got now? Did the U.S. arresting Maduro prove China is a paper tiger? It exactly did. Beijing called the operation deeply shocking and a serious violation of international law. It followed the law to the letter. The letter. But what do you expect from the communist country like China? Holy shit. All these countries are worried about Trump, and they should fear the United States. When you get Biden in there, they were laughing at us. They sat there and put a diaper on Biden and spanked his little bottom and said, go sit in the corner, little boy, and pee yourself. And that's exactly what he did. We were not respected whatsoever. And now, shit. There is nothing but respect coming out of here. And these countries are seeing it. Do not FA or you're going to FO big time. Iran military leader threatens preemptive attacks on us. Yes, sir, Bob. You heard me right there, guys. Now Iran is threatening us over the rhetoric targeting the country as the regime faces massive protest. Now, it's not our fault that you guys are corrupt, but they want to threaten American people and warning that America would act if violence was used against protesters. Well, this is what Trump is here for. Trump is a president of peace. And if you do not, and you treat your people like shit, Trump's going to handle it. We should not be the world's police. But when you're killing your people just because they protest, and yes, they don't have the rights that we have or anything like that, but they should. Everyone should. Women should not have to cover their ugly faces because you're Muslim and you have a mustache. You shouldn't have to cover your ugly faces in those burqas and shit just because you live in another country. Everybody should be free to show their ugly mustache faces, even if you're a woman. Looks like Buckwheat, get over here. Get her over here. Come on, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, Sean, you got that right. He made KJP wipe. Ain't that crazy? That's crazy right there, Radical Right. That's funny. All right. Do I have that in here or not? But let me show this real quick. If I can bring this up here real fast. Share screen real quick. Because we're going to get into these demented, delusional Democrats. And I think it is. Where is it at? There it is. Check and look at this. I don't have no volume on this, so I don't need that. But tell me these people are not disgusting. This is a candlelight vigil, and I had something on it, and the pathetic part, and it was a. Let me see if I can find that or not. Real quick here. No, I can't find what I did with it. But these people put on a pathetic display yesterday. This was the biggest clown show you ever saw for the anniversary of January 6th. What they caused, well, where'd it go? It should not be there. It is. They caused January 6th themselves. And they want to sit there and they want to say that all this stuff about where the hell did it go? Damn it. And I have, oh, here it is. Take a listen to this real quick. This is this clown show that we saw yesterday.
We are here today because we must never forget what happened on January 6th, 5 years ago. 5 years ago, a vicious mob tried to undo American democracy. Thousands of rioters, egged on by Donald Trump,
come to demand that Congress do the right thing and only count the electors who have been lawfully slated. I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. Today we will see whether Republicans stand strong for integrity of our elections, but whether or not they stand strong for our country.
stormed the U.S. Capitol, smashed its windows, desecrated its hallways, ransacked its offices in an attempt to steal the 2020 election.
Now, you see where they always sit there and they forget to say that they paid the people to storm that Capitol. They forget to say that Trump said peacefully and patriotically march to the Capitol. It's just funny how that works with these Democrats, right? They always seem to get this. Even 5 years later, these dumb son of a bitches can't even admit to it. And we've got the proof of it. We've showed you over and over how many times. And it's just getting so pathetic with these people. K3, Cat, what's going on, girl? I just saw her come in there. Hey, Texas had a goat humper problem in Plano, Texas. Plano. Oh, I believe that one. It's bad in Texas. These ragged up tops got to go. But we're going to take ourselves back to New York here real quick, guys, so we can get on with this. And Eric Adams goes after McDummy himself. She says, you have to be completely out of your fucking mind. Eric Adams rips into Mandami over aid, over a white supremacy comment. This is about the white woman saying that the rental properties and owner properties of owning houses are an act of white supremacy. You're not allowed to own a house because you're white. So that's white supremacy. This is so pathetic. The downfall of New York is here, folks, and it's just going down in a blaze of shit. So we're going to keep watching this every time, because what do we got here? Man, McDummy makes a bizarre promise about World Cup tickets and gets humiliated by a community note. Now, I don't think I got it in here, but McDummy promises was immediately mocked and ridiculed on social media, especially after it was undermined by a community note on X. Apart from the fact that the mayor has no influence over FIFA and the pricing policy, there are no games in New York City. The New Jersey Stadium is in Rutherford, New Jersey. He has no control over that. And others pointed out in the convenient facts, settle down, commie. It's being hosted in New Jersey. I know New Jersey is right behind New York, but you haven't taken it over yet. One popular response reads, and then another one is laugh my ass off. This scumbag thinks he is the king of the world. New York Mayor McDummy says he is working to ensure the World Cup tickets are available to all. By the way, no World Cup games are being played in New York. This is what I'm talking about. When he thinks he can call and demand something from our president, I would piss on his head if he was around. He has nothing. He is nobody. He's just a New York mayor. He's a pathetic jihadist mayor, and he thinks he's God Almighty himself. He thinks he can just take over wherever he feels like taking over. This is why I'm saying, guys, we are going to watch every step of this jihadist's way until somebody actually boots his ass out of that office where he does not belong. We are not a freaking democracy. You got that right, Kurt, at all. These fucking people don't understand what's going on. I'm telling you what. Now, Hillary Clinton marks off January 6th with a huge lie about Trump's actions on that day. We already know what it is. And shit, I had that too. But it's not here either. Because it wasn't a video. And I don't know what happened to it. But it shows all these fake things. But 5 years ago today, Donald Trump urged his supporters to attack Congress and the Capitol over a proven lie. More than 140 police officers were injured. Well, that's another lie. He betrayed his oath to his country, and he won't ever forget it. I already showed you the fact of the video right there. A proven fact. We back things up here with proof. We come with receipts. We do not go without them, because you can look up everything that I show you and show it yourself. These are facts. He's never told people to attack anything, and it's a fact. This is what you get with these delusional, dumbass Democrats making up their own stories because their sheep need something to believe, because they have nothing else. Now, here we go with the Jasmine Rotten Crotch Crockett. Oh, yeah. And the Jockey Crockett. Oh, yeah. Jasmine Crockett says, fuck you to the Supreme Court over Texas redistricting decision. I'm not lying to you. Take a look at this real quick. If I can get my mouse over here.
Definitely kudos to the Trump justice who wrote the 160-page opinion denouncing what took place in Texas, and to the Supreme Court for what they did.
Can anyone from Texas tell me when this bitch is going to go? When does she leave her seat? I didn't get a chance to look it up, but when does she vacate her seat? When is her time up? Because I'm not sure, but you guys from Texas in here should know that for a fact. You guys should be able to figure it out. I could probably find it out, but I didn't know if you guys knew it. I have some of the best people in here from Texas that can find out everything. I hope he doesn't, Kurt. I hope he does not last a year. And that's what Kurt just said. He will not last a year. But here's another delusional Democrat. Another Georgia State Democrat lawmaker arrested and charged with defrauding the federal government. Whoops. I wrote something and I forgot to send it to Vic. Yeah, Violent Vixen 29, guys. I didn't tell you about this, but you guys try to check out her show. Type it in. You'll find her name. If you're on Rumble, just type in Violent Vixen. You'll find her. Check out Rebel Chick What It Costs. She put on a great show tonight, too. So you'll find it. But yes, what's her name here? Bennett is a pro-BLM defund the police activist. Bennett defrauded taxpayers after she obtained COVID-19 unemployment benefits despite her business remaining open during the pandemic. They deserve to be arrested. And she was federally indicted for fraud. And I'm loving to see it as the activist and the second Georgia lawmaker charged with defrauding taxpayers in the last month. We got to get some of the D.C. lawmakers that have been doing this stuff. Get them the hell out of here. What else we got? We got former Senator Manchin claims that he would not have voted on Obamacare, but he endorses GOP healthcare savings account. This is what is the problem with the Democrat Party. These people are afraid to cross party lines, thinking they're going to get booted, or maybe they think they're going to get killeried or something. But Joe Manchin, sometimes that man was coming around because he was figuring out the Democrat Party is so corrupt. But now that he's gone, there's no hope. But he said he wouldn't have voted, but guess what? That is they destroy your life if you cross party lines. And that's what they're going to do to Fetterman too. Oh yeah, it's no joke. These people are fucking violent. They're corrupt, and they need to go. Now get this one on the Hilton. Remember the Hilton? They refused to give rooms to ICE agents for one of their things. Well, they were thinking, oh shit, what happened to Bud Light? Do we want this to happen to us? So now Hilton terminates franchise agreement with Hampton Inn in Lakeville, following hotel's refusal to house ICE and DHS personnel. Oh yeah, they thought that right off the bat. As soon as people started bitching, said, oh shit, man, we don't want Bud Lighted. And that's exactly what was going to happen. So now they canceled all their stuff with them, their cooperation and their naming behind that. A Democrat will climb a tree to tell a lie. They stand on the ground to tell the truth. And they're never on the ground, are they, Kidder? Oh, this one, guys, I saved this from last week. And then see if I can find it real quick here. You want to watch a humiliating CNN New Year's Eve show by these freaking idiots, Anderson Cooper and his co-host Andy Cohen. They were noticeably over the limit to drive as they welcome in 2026. I have to show you this because this is another embarrassment by the CNN. I do not know how these people stay open, but look at this one. You guys are going to laugh. This is laugh, but it's not funny, but it is. Take a look.
Puppets.
I look like I've had a stroke.
You do, I know. You look very gummy, like you look like you have no teeth.
Look at his neck. It's like I can't figure out how to get. Look, my puppet.
You were.
Look,
he was bragging that he went to puppetry school when he was a kid.
Of course I didn't go to puppetry school. And I can't believe that you believe me.
One never knows with you.
That's not even the worst part about it, guys. Wait until you see this one. This is, I don't know how these people keep jobs. How CNN's still in business. Take a look at this last one.
Like you say, watching the final moments of Mayor Adams' chaotic.
Or are we going on a De Blasio style?
No.
Oh, no.
I
Judith
just,
Anderson?
I just want to say.
Don't.
I mean,
No,
he
I'm-
got his pardons.
I'm out.
He's
Andy, we gotta cut you off.
No,
Andy, I've seen this happen.
No, I'm just saying.
No.
Great, you got your pardons. Go off into
It's after
the
midnight.
sunset.
It's after-
We'll
Sweetie.
fiddle with what we have, with what you've left us
This is
with.
the thing with you and
Great.
mayors, man.
Go dance away. We'll
These idiots can't even talk, and they let them on the air. They're so freaking inebriated. That is just so much of a joke, ain't it? All right, guys, we're done with the news for tonight. Now let's have some fun. Here's one. I love this rat from Green Frog Labs. Take a look real quick.
Dooby-dooby-doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now.
I love that rat. Isn't that great? Great job, Green Frog Lab. That is my favorite one right there. I love that. And I love their military one. That's great too. All right, let's keep going. We're going to have some fun here for a few more minutes. And what do we got here? Exactly, Kurt. And they got to put their things on air. We don't need to see them. This one. That's the fucking storm. This is talking about Venezuela. Oh, yeah. Take a look at the AI version of Maduro's arrest.
¡Venga por mí! ¡Aquí lo espero en Miraflores! ¡No se tarde en llegar, cobarde!
We're getting close to Miraflores, boys. Locked and loaded. It's showtime, boys. Let's light 'em up. We're going home, boys. Package secured.
That's right. We got a badass president right there. Right, guy? What is this now? Oh, yeah. This is a good one, too. Take a look at this one. We're sticking with Venezuela. Take a look. Another one, great one by Green Frog Labs right there. That's right. Now I'm going to give you a little serious and we're going to mix in a little bit of different ones in the next few videos. But this one is going to be a flashback of Joe Biden in 1989 about the drug cartel and narco-terrorism. Take a listen.
For the first time, we are fighting and losing a war on our own soil. Let's go after the drug lords where they live with an international strike force. There must be no safe haven for these narco-terrorists, and they must know it.
But that's okay, guys, right? That's okay because a Democrat said it. A demented Democrat, but it's still okay, right? You agree with that? I don't think so. But there's a fact right there. We show these all the time where it's okay for the goose, but not good for the gander. Remember that phrase, guys? It happens constantly with these demented fools. But here's a good one. Hillary and Maduro in prison. Take a look at this.
Time for your meds, Mr. Maduro.
But I'm not on any meds.
That's exactly what Epstein said, too.
I promise I won't tell anyone about the voting machines.
Yeah, I mean, that ain't a fact right there. Right there, Hillary. There she is. She's that hard at work. But here's something I want to show you, and I'm only going to show you part of this because these are Minnesotans reacting to Maduro's capture. Take a listen real quick.
Bombings, abductions, and a country turned upside down. After recent attacks on Venezuela and the capture of the president and first lady today, Minnesotans and Democratic lawmakers are voicing their concerns. Protesters gathered at Minnehaha and Lake in Minneapolis to speak against President Trump's strikes on Venezuela and the capture of President Maduro and his wife. Organizers say Trump is escalating the war and is lying about rampant drug trafficking claims, claiming a UN report recognized Venezuela as being free of illicit drug crops. Protesters say they think the war is a way to take control of Venezuela's oil.
We are literally threatening a regional war in Latin America. What? So that President Trump can pretend that he's like this great warrior? This is ridiculous.
Minnesota lawmakers also.
These people do not have a clue of what's going on. They want to praise, just like these idiots that praise Palestine. And now they're out there praising Maduro, a corrupt piece of garbage like him, dictator. If it's so great, if he's so good, why are all these people coming here and moving here? And then they want to come here and live off the backs of us taxpayers. But then they want to just bash the United States. Go back to the countries that you're cheering for. Don't stay here. We don't need you. We don't want you. Well, thank you, Becky. And hi, Becky. Fixer, what's happening, Fix? What happened, man? They are a bunch of asshats, Fix. All right, let's keep going here. We got a few more time. We got a couple more minutes. We got time here. Now we're going to get into Tampon Tim running his mouth, yelling at I don't know who. But you're going to get a little comedy here, and then I got another one that's the serious part. But listen to this. This one's funny right here. I think this one's a Green Fog Labs too, a Benita doll. Over my dead body or over my body.
Their idea of improving this state is being a parrot for Donald Trump, agreeing to everything that he agreed with. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. It ain't happening. I'm not going anywhere. And you can make all your requests for me to resign over my dead body. Will that happen?
That's a good one by Green Fog Labs. But now here's the serious one. Tell me who he is yelling at.
Have I been perfect in this? God dang no. I wasn't perfect as a teacher. I wasn't perfect as a coach. I wasn't perfect as a soldier, but I was pretty damn good at all those things. Game's over for him now. It was all me. I was the bad guy or whatever. Well, put up or shut up now and tell us what you're going to do to make this state better. Answer these tough questions. Quit hiding behind this and expect for the next 11 months for me to ride you like you've never been ridden.
Yeah. He's gonna go broke back on your
I couldn't help that. I had to leave that part in. Who the hell is he yelling at? Who's going to fix it? That's his job. His job is to fix that state. And he's pointing over here somewhere going, you tell me how you're going to fix my state. How are you going to fix this state? Who's he telling that to? And he's going to ride them? Holy shit. If you can't say gay, oh my God. Oh yeah. This is so bad. I'm telling you what. Well, what do we got? What do we got? We got time for one more. I'm going to give you one more. And then we're going to go in the arms of the angel. Tim Walz's political career ends today. And you guys, we all love this guy from CNN, don't we? Take a look.
But I'll tell you who is a complete piece of shit. I'm going to tell you right now.
There have been a lot of swear words at this
Tim
table today.
Walz.
Okay.
Walz does not belong at this level of American politics. Vance does. Final verdict, Tim Walz wandered into the wrong bar tonight. The governor of Minnesota, the Democratic candidate for vice president, wish casting the death of the President of the United States. I don't care how much you hate your political opponent, wishing death upon them and joking about it means you're a broken-brained SOB, and that's what he is. Walz is a buffoon. I'm sorry. This guy, he's the only school teacher in America who brags that none of his students can get into an Ivy League school. He's had one consequential press interaction with our Dana Bash, who asked him about the fabrications in his own resume, and his answer was essentially, me no understand words good. I mean, is a buffoon. I think when your signature move is jazz hands, you're not as up on the white guy code maybe as you think you are.
Yeah, he's exactly right. You gotta love that guy, right, guys? All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight, guys. A lot of stuff we went over, and it's just necessary. We had to do it. We're going to have another great show tomorrow. Like I said, Throwback Thursday, I'm bringing it back because we need to laugh a little bit. I still have a lot of videos here, guys. I did not get out to you guys. Some great funny ones here, too. I got one serious one, I think. But we're going to show some of them tomorrow, too, before we start getting into Throwback Thursday. I've got to download some stuff because I am running out of stuff for Throwback Thursday. I've run out of stuff because I used it all up last year. But I do have some 70s songs. I do have some old cartoons still here. I might have enough for tomorrow, maybe, with some 80s songs, some 70s songs, cartoons, old cartoons and stuff. I got to get some stuff done for tomorrow, guys. But I'm glad you guys tuned in. We might get Wimpkin back here in a day or two. We'll see what happens. And we'll get things a little bit back to normal. It's okay, Fix. I'm just glad you showed up. But, guys, I love you guys for joining me and staying with us. And hopefully we keep our numbers up because Getter's been down here lately, too. But we got to get some numbers back up, guys. So let's get going. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, everything. That's okay, Tammy. She just had a small surgical procedure yesterday, and it was a bad night, but she's doing better today. So hopefully we get to sleep tonight. So thank you guys for joining me again tonight, and I'm going to leave you with this. And that, my fellow patriots, brings us to the end of another massive hour here at the Conservative Viewpoint. But before we sign off, I want to say a huge thank you to every one of you who tuned in tonight. Whether you were listening in your car or at home or streaming us across the world, your support is what keeps this movement alive and the truth flowing. We couldn't do this without you. You are the best audience in the world. Remember, while the delusional Democrats are scrambling and the state of fraud is finally being exposed, we stay focused, we stay motivated, and we stay loud. The moment is on our side, guys, and we are just getting started. So don't miss tomorrow night's show. We'll have even more breaking updates probably on the Maduro stuff going on and the fraud case in Minnesota. We're not letting this go. Nobody's letting it go. Nick Shirley sure to hell ain't letting it go. So I'm pretty sure more of the heat on Walz administration and the Minnesota fraud is going to come out tomorrow also. So until then, keep your heads high. Stay inspired and keep fighting for the country that we all love. We'll see you right back here live tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another fantastic episode of the Conservative Viewpoint right after the Rebel Chick with a Cause that starts at 7 p.m., guys. So until then, have a great night. God bless, and I'll see you back here live tomorrow night. Good night, everyone.